I believe that we are likely live at this moment. Good evening, folks. Left, right, left nation. The Silver Fox is back. Mark Archabot, United States Marine Corps retired, with another amazing guest. Before I turn to her, just like to remind everybody, please, subscribe if you would. All proceeds from the podcast are donated to the Amphibious Tractor Memorial, something I'm very passionate about and a board member of. And damn it, we got $200,000 more to raise. We're going to get there. But anyway, you can help a brother out. It's free to support me so that way I can support them. Okay, cool. Done with that. Man, I got somebody high energy. I mean, just contagious, type of attitude on the other end. She is the founder of IGY6 Company. She's been doing unbelievable things out there in the nonprofit world. Veterans are her passion. And I tell you, man, thank you, Justin LeHue, for connecting me with Tiffany, because she is just an amazing human being. And I'm glad to have her here. Tiffany Orner, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Hi, friends. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And Justin is the real MVP. I love that man. If you don't know who he is, you are wrong.
He's a good dude, man. One of my combat blood brothers, man. Nothing but love for him. Yeah. Okay,
Awesome.
Tiffany, time is of the essence. You got kids coming home soon from
Ugh.
jiu-jitsu and all that stuff.
Yeah, my
So
feral queen. Yes, sir.
yeah, man. So let's go ahead and hit it, man. Tell everybody a little bit about your background, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Let's rock. So, third generation military, second generation female Air Force veteran, uncle, brother, and grandfather are Army vets, and myself, Air Force. I was in boot camp when 9/11 happened. So,
Yeah.
totally different military. Then I served 3 years, got out early due to pregnancy because that's an option. And I have three children. One is going to be 22. One is going to be 21 this year. Those are my boys. And then I have the feral one that should be here in a little bit. And she's 8. She's going to be 9 this year. And yeah, two-time military spouse because I did the military thing, right? You get married young, you have kids young. We did that. We don't hate each other. We grew up. We're still very close. And yeah, now I am here in Fort Walton Beach on the Emerald Coast, the Gulf of America.
Love that place, man. I love that
Yeah,
place. It's amazing.
it is gorgeous.
Mhm. I used to do
I'm very
firepower
blessed.
testing at Eglin Air Force Base, and what a cool place to go on Liberty and hang out after you get off work. Hey, man, I did want
Yep.
to ask you a question real quick about your
Sure.
service. So,
Yeah.
female, not a lot of females obviously join the military. They are the minority. Females who look like you, that number even goes down. So, why did you
Oh.
decide, as a young lady, to join the United States Air Force?
So my mom was stationed at Travis Air Force Base. I was born in Japan, started speaking with a British accent in England, all over. But most of my time, I grew up in Napa Valley and Northern California. So she was stationed at Travis Air Force Base. Then when she got out, we actually lived on the veterans' home grounds. So there's this little town outside of Napa called Yountville. And before it got all fancy, as it is now, that's where they grew the grapes, right? So on the left side of the highway going down Napa was the Veterans Home Grounds, and on the right side was Yountville. I grew up playing in the vineyards. My mom was a sorry, Alexa, stop. my mom, my mom was a drug and alcohol counselor, right? So I saw the World War II vets in and out, and her office was obviously on the installation. So I'd run over and I would just see them. And I think that's what started my love for us because I just they were sick, man, but they were so nice. Even smelling of alcohol, I'd sit next to them and just talk, and they love that. So,
Yeah.
um, that's where it all started. And then 1 month left of my freshman year at Vantage High School, we moved. My mom started working for Target. We moved from Northern California to South Jersey. I went from
Amazing.
having like 40 plus kids per classroom to like 12. It's like,
Hmm.
does everyone have mono? So anyway, the reason, because where the heck is everyone, right?
Yeah.
That's so anyway. I had a really tough time during high school. It was just tough, when you come in high school halfway through, military children, they eat a lot of it because
Yeah.
it's just so hard. And in case you didn't know, so many military families are homeschooling their children now because of that, because
Sure.
of the transition and how hard it is, courtesy of social media and stuff like that, which I love, by the way. But yeah, so when graduation time came, it was tough. I knew that I had to get my laugh right, and I wanted to get back to Cali, so I raised my right hand and I swore in out of McGuire Air Force Base, And yeah, then got stationed at Travis Air Force Base.
Nice.
So it was great.
Yeah, good. Is there anything that you'd like to share about your time on active duty? Anything like cool experience that you did, or hardships that you experienced? Go ahead.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a different military back then. None of us knew what was going on. 9/11 changed everything,
Yeah,
so it was just different. And being a female, and some of the stuff that I experienced was not good. It was not handled well by my chain of command. My first sergeant was great. He at the time was Master Sergeant Jaramillo, who's actually here. He is a GS position over at Hurlburt, but it was just tough. So I decided to get out.
yeah,
And let's just say I didn't address what happened until 2020.
yeah.
And I got out in like '04, I think. So yeah, it was a lot, but here we are, right? So I'm very blessed, very thankful for that.
Yeah, man. Shit happens, unfortunately. I hate to
It
say that,
does.
and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but hey, we keep moving forward. And look at you.
We
You're
do. And you know what? I was logistics. I drove 18 wheelers with C5 aircraft to and from TMO in support of OEF.
very
So
nice.
Flightline, Roach Coach, all of that. Like those were great memories. The Roach Coach, remember? Now they're called food trucks.
Yeah, yeah. Roach coach. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
So it was a good time. And though things happened that I would wish on no one, I'll tell you what, I tried to go back in. When me and my first husband got out and we moved to upstate New York, I went to the army and I was like, hey, you guys want to rock? And I had a ship date, but then he got a job. So
Yeah.
I was like, let's try the army. Maybe that's different. So yeah,
No, all good, man. Taking the high
yeah,
road, those are your things that you carry with yourself, and also just want to say thank you for your service, and you know, good on
yes,
you, for continuing to press forward and find the good experiences that you had and
yes,
applying those to what you've been doing since you've been post military. So
yeah,
awesome. Hey man, so you get out the Air Force and you got to find something to do. So between there's a lot of stuff that happened in between you founding I Got Your 6 company and what you're doing today, and then that's about 16 years of things. So go ahead and talk
yeah.
about that.
Okay. Hypnotically drifting is what Napoleon Hill calls it. I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I love learning about things, especially from those that have, kind of done the entrepreneurial path in the past. But yeah, I had all these jobs. My constant was bartending and serving. I loved doing that because no matter what, you were going to tip me, between 30 and 50%, even if I mess up your drink or forgot your food. So that was my constant, but I did all types of things. I sold jewelry through jewelry stores. I was assistant branch manager of banks. I worked for a beverage company, one of the big ones for a while. I did so much. I sold life insurance. I did it all. And in those times, I would say to myself, like, God, why is none of this working out? Because I would leave, right? Because no one had that work ethic like I did. Like for instance, when I ran the bank, we would have to be there at say 0700 or 8, whatever, to count the drawers, whatever, open at 9. I'd get there 15 minutes before. And then here comes Mark 20 minutes late with Starbucks, and no one cared. Those things
Yeah,
start to really weigh on you real quick, fast, and in a hurry when you've served and when you've grown up like very structured. Because my mom, Gma, she didn't play. She's barely 5 foot, maybe 130 pounds. She is spicy, so she always,
yeah,
and she instilled in us that you have to, so I did a lot. And I found my why in 2018 when I started working for JDog. I answered a job description, biz dev. I was like, what the hell is biz dev? What is that? And I applied, and Jerry, not Jerry, he's the founder of JDog, Jerry JDog Flanagan. Um, oh my gosh, hold on. We're going to sit and we're going to wait this one out. What's his name? Shh. Oh, shh. I have to search his name. I hope he's not watching. JDog. Oh gosh. Shoot. What's his name? Shh.
I don't know.
It's okay. Don't. Ray Gagnon, Marine, Gunnery Sergeant. I know. I'm sorry. It's fine.
No,
Anyway,
it's good.
so
At ease, Airman. You're good.
thank you, sir. Yeah. So Ray Gagnon saw something in me, and he's, like I said, Marine. He owned the franchise in upstate New York, and he walked me through the warehouse. And the J Doggers, the ones that threw the junk, my heart, they were
Mhm.
either reserve, veteran, or active, not active duty. They were reserve or guardsmen, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, my people again. Because in upstate New York, military is few and far between. But what really got me was one of his J Doggers that had to stay at he didn't leave, he didn't drive the trucks because he was drunk, but he was a Purple Heart recipient. And I loved
Mhm.
him like as
Mhm.
soon as I saw him. And he was so frail and so little, but I was like, oh my gosh. So in that moment, I said to myself, it's not about me. It's about going out here, finding money to keep these guys employed, right? So
Sure.
Ray gave me 17 different verticals. Pay colleges and universities, senior living, construction, all of these 17 different verticals, and said find money. And I said, all right, well, what's always happening? Stuff's always being built, stuff's always being torn down. So paving, or not paving and construction, that's my husband's AFSC, sorry. But building and construction. So within like 60 days, I grew the revenue from like 30, 40K a month to over 200,000. We crippled hiring agencies because it wasn't about me anymore, right? I had to make sure our J Doggers had work to do. So
Mhm.
that was awesome. Killed it. And then COVID,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, after COVID, I started applying and everyone in the area knew me, right? Because of my biz dev and me going to developers and builders and asking to be a sub and all of this stuff. I threw myself headfirst into construction. I knew nothing about construction, but I learned. I joined, NESCA, Northeastern Subcontractors Associate. Anyone and everyone that had anything to do with building, Tiffany was there. And I was a unicorn, right? How many Black female veterans are at construction meetings? So I did that. COVID shut it down. I applied for a million jobs, not even interviews. Like I'd have friends at companies being like, girl, we just hired someone. I thought you applied. So my friend said, stop trying to fit yourself in a box and build your own. So I
Yeah.
applied for Team Rubicon and Grunt Style, and I got Grunt Style. So there, I started on their for profit, switched over, stood up the Grunt Style Foundation, got educated through the University of Notre Dame and their nonprofit leadership course, and did some great things. We supported our junior enlisted all over the United States,
Yeah.
um, Pendleton, Lejeune, DC, Jacksonville. We just did so many. We did what I called Grunt Style Foundation deployments, where we would bring about 40 tons, I think, of food, 27 something pallets of quality food like Cliff Bars, name brand, and we
Sure.
do a drive through. It was great.
Yeah.
But my biggest, like, that we did when during my tenure was us, Burn Pits 360, and the amazing John Stewart. We got the PACT Act passed in DC, which, you know,
Yeah.
collaboration over competition. We were there at like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 to see veterans coming to the Capitol because they saw a tweet by John Stewart and they're like, we're here. Thank you. Like, that hits different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I did that for a
Yeah.
while. And then I'm like, oh, go ahead. You have a question?
No, no. I just wanted to say I love it because a lot of times, a lot of my guests is, they get out, they either get out or whatever they're doing. It was like a very short period of time where they made it, something. With your journey, I just like because it's very real. Like
Yeah.
you, not that you were struggling, but you were, you're a normal
Oh, we were
person.
struggling.
Yeah, you're a
We
normal
were poor.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, you're a
Yeah.
normal person,
Hmm.
a bartending, doing different jobs, scraping to get by and stuff. You have kids, you have family, you're trying to just figure it out. And then it's like all bubbling and culminating into, this of what you're doing now. And just, I like that and I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you,
I
brother.
love that.
Yeah. Well, it's all for a reason. And that was the hardest part going through it. You're like, why, God? Why am I doing this? Why didn't this work out? But now that serves me, right? Because I talked to our transitioning military from 7th Group, 6th RTB, Eglin, Hurlburt, 919th, the reserve unit. And they're like, oh, I'm going to get out. I don't know what to do. I'm going to get myself ready with, make sure I get 100 100% P&T. And, I go for my appointment for sleep apnea. I'm like, pause, hold up, stop. Before you do that, are you insured? Is your family insured? Because the second you get that sleep apnea, you're uninsurable, bro, with the good
Yeah,
guys.
it's a good
So,
point.
you know what I mean? So
A
it's like
very good
little
point.
nuggets like that pop up in my head, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." Now, if I wouldn't had to eat the tough stuff
The shit
before,
burger. I know. The
yeah,
shit
you
burger.
said it, not me. Yeah, but if I wouldn't have experienced that, I would have been like, "Yeah, man, go get 100 P&T," but then his family wouldn't have been protected. God forbid
Yeah.
something happened.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that. And then I found this job description online for some place near Destin. I was like, where's Destin? Bro, it didn't even finish loading. And I was like, that's what it looks like. Send it. Because I was in Albany, New York. It's cold. I was like, I'm Moana, clearly. You know what I mean? So, like, I had to get out of there. So I applied to stand up a nonprofit in the Panhandle for a car company and killed it. Within 5 months of being here, I was with DeSantis as he was signing laws into, things into law, excuse me, in support of our military. And it was awesome. And then within a year, just over a year, I got $150,000 in appropriations from the state of Florida for the nonprofit. And I killed it. But then the company decided they thanked me for my service and transitioned the nonprofit to a private grant nonprofit. And they're like,
Yeah.
thank you. So it was then where I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to do now? And it's like, remember that little IGY6 company you stood up in 2021 and you've kind of been playing with, and
Yeah.
it's time. So
It's
here
time to
we are.
dedicate it all to it, right? And put your heart and
Listen,
soul into
burn
it.
the boats,
Mm-hmm.
burn the boats. And I did.
Yeah, I want you to talk about that because that's kind of the main theme and something I really want the viewers to take away is not just your journey but like what it can do because it will stimulate thought within other people. So tell everybody a little bit about IGY6, what it does, mission, and let's get it going.
Absolutely. So I'm a military marketing or branding agency and military focused, right? So um essentially what I do is I connect brands to the military market authentically, right? I elevate them from a choice to a recommendation. So I work with my clients, and I'm not just primarily for companies that are looking to get with the military and all of that. I lean heavy obviously towards that, but what I do is I let them know, like, the landscape has changed. We have to be so intentional, right? We used to be pre-COVID, we were in a social graph. So if Mark had 50 million followers, the algorithm would push your stuff, right? But now we're in what we call an interest graph. You know it. You search one thing on your phone, you're going to see that over and over and over. It's all
Mhm.
about interest. But with that, it's so much more than just social. You have to show up, right? The military community, we are chief skeptic officers, yet fiercely loyal, right? Once you got us, you got us. We will go to you for our insurance, our cars, our clothes, our food, but you have to earn that. And in order to
Yeah.
earn that, it's like anything, you have to authentically build your brand. You have to show people the ugly parts sometimes. You have to get a little uncomfortable. We live in an attention economy. Everyone's fighting for attention. Thankfully, you are you. No one's youer than you, right? Isn't it Dr. Seuss week? My favorite author, by the way. But own that, tell your stories, and try and figure out how to authentically. And I know I hate that word now because everyone says authentic, but they don't know what that means. You have to show up with purpose,
Yeah.
intention, and love. So that's what IGY6 does. Community engagement, boots on the ground. That is my thing. Let's do events. My dear friend, he said, what we do, it's like whenever these companies get these big sponsorships, whether it's military focused or not, that's like buying a car. He's like, me and you, Tiffany, we're the gas in that car,
Yeah.
right? So I love going to events and talking with the attendees and, having real conversations with them. Like, hey, where's your kid's shoe? What happened? And I don't care. I make it weird because it's fun, especially with Army. They love to have babies. So, like, the events here, like, I'll be like, you have like 7 kids. Get over here, sis. How are you? Are you okay? Like, what do you need? Again, because seriously, You have children. That's a lot of kids. But it's that. So that's what we do. We do boots on the ground activations. We do consulting, right? Helping companies understand, like, all right, this event is coming. Also, all right, cool. You want the military market? What part? Do you want active duty? Do you want veterans? Do you want mil spouses? Do you want military caregivers? Do you want army? Do you want, and just helping them navigate the intricacies of each, right? It's not just, oh, I want military. That's adorable. Everyone does. Tell me your why,
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, what
Yeah.
would you say, like right now, you've been doing it for a while. What's
Hmm.
kind of been your the biggest win that you think that you've stacked, and the biggest like impact that IGY6 has made?
Oh
If you
my
had to pick, if you had
gosh.
to pick, if you had to pick one thing or one story.
Yep. Here it is. You know what this is? It's a brick of diapers.
Yeah.
So the military, especially your junior enlisted, 52% of our military is junior enlisted. What's that mean? We're not staying in. 1 April, they get a pay increase. E3 and below get a pay increase. E4 gets a smaller one. But with that said, like, we're struggling. So my biggest like accomplishment with IGY6 and just how I've moved is being intentional. And instead of doing flyers or the billboard or the pens and koozies that we literally throw away as soon as we get in the car because we don't want our kids to fight over them or our dogs to choke on the crap, do the diapers, wipes, pull
Hmm.
ups, laundry sheets, toothpaste. I volunteer every Wednesday at the Airman's Attic. And what that is, it's for E6 and below, any branch, but it offers everything for free. So it's either uniforms or they have civvies, right? Clothes for civilians, clothes for babies. They have housewares. They have literally everything. So whenever we relocate, a lot of people come and give us their stuff, but
Yeah, lowering
we,
costs for our young enlisted folks is huge. I
mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
that's
And
big.
then if TMO hasn't delivered their like I had a guy, single soldier, and he was seventh group. He's like, yeah, my stuff's not here yet. I just need a couple things to eat off of. So humble. He literally gets like a stack of like three, like meal prep. He's like, this is good. I'm like, we have plates. He's like, no, it's all I need. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's really loving on us. And then seeing their faces when they're like, the diapers are free. Like, yeah, baby. Of course, yes. Like, oh my God. And like, because people forget that we are a subset of the community. We have issues too, you know?
Yep.
So being able to provide diapers to the mom who's 22 with two kids and pregnant with another one, like, bro, that was me. I get it. I know. So it's just loving on them in such a
Yeah.
way that they feel seen, heard, loved, and supported. Um, yeah,
All right. So you get your children, unfortunately, getting ready to come home. So
yeah.
the last thing before we start wrapping up would be, right now, you're at a place, local. Where do you want to go with it? And like, what's your intentions, for IGY6? That's your
Yeah,
story. Go ahead.
IGY6 Company is a social enterprise business model, meaning a portion of all of our proceeds goes back into the community, right? So I support military families in need, single service members in crisis, and veterans support or veterans struggling with toxic burn pit exposure. In a perfect world, I would love to fix it. I have a hashtag until every veteran wants for nothing. I'm not stopping. Yes, I do the for profit IGY6, that's fine. But my goal is to fix it. My goal is to make it so we have pride again. I feel like sometimes because, my husband, he doesn't have to iron his uniform, he doesn't have to shine his boots, he just throws it on. I want to bring back that sense of pride and just like, I am a United States blank Marine Airman. I want that to come back. So, yeah, and I don't want us to want for anything after our service. Again, collaboration over competition, all these great nonprofits, I want us to work together better so that we don't struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
you
the
on that
goal.
one.
Yes,
It's
sir.
a important point. It's a tough journey when you take the uniform off, and especially for the ones that don't really have that foundation on the other side waiting for them.
Yeah,
They're just alone and kind of by themselves navigating it. So you got to have
yeah,
some good networks out there and things like you're doing, and things like a lot of the other folks out there, these selfless people are doing, to help soften that landing for them is it's
Yeah.
very admirable. It's very admirable.
Well, we don't know any other way. Like I could not, like people, some people, I can't wait to retire. Like what? No. What are you going to do then? How are you going to love on people? How are you going to hold people's babies without having to have your own? Ugh. Right? Because that's my thing. I'm like, excuse me, can I hold your baby? And they're like, yes. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Then I'm like, it smells funny, So anyway, yeah, I'm here for it. And, I'm determined to be the change that's so desperately needed for our military community. And here I'm known for the support beyond the gate, right? So if there's a trauma or something big going on and DOD, they only have X amount in funding that they could support. What is it? I forget there's a terminology for it. I'm the amplification beyond the gate that's screaming from the rooftops because I'm going to fix it. Yeah. So
I appreciate you sharing, a little bit about your journey, and again, like your attitude, your personality just speaks, volumes. And like I said, I just sense your passion, and that's why you're here, because you're very passionate about veterans. You're very passionate about helping people, and those are the types of folks that I like to rub knuckles with, and hang out with. So I really do appreciate it.
Yes, and if you ever come to the Florida Panhandle, you better text me.
I will. I will. Same thing, vice versa. If you're in the DC area,
right,
it'd be great.
No,
yeah, I know.
I'm not going.
That's a tough sell to anybody. I understand. Hey man, before we go, I did, because like I'm a good senior enlisted man, and I do have to set you up for success and ask you, give you the floor to any shout outs, family, friends, partners, social media pitch. Go ahead and take a minute or two and wrap us up tonight.
I love everyone, and that's a loaded question because I can't mention one. Yeah, it is.
Mention them all.
No, we don't have enough time. Listen, I love everyone.
Okay.
And I want everyone to always remember those of us that have and continue to serve, right? When you see us, just, pray for us. I hope that you find peace. That's what I say, especially when people are spicy, but just give love and donate your time to supporting us. We're still deploying. We're still struggling. We're still going through it. So fall in, right? We're all you got. Shit gets whatever. If stuff gets real, we're all you got. So
yeah.
Network,
that's it. Don't forget about your brothers and sisters. Don't think I didn't see Fall In on your website neither. I saw it. I definitely saw it. That's
yes.
Good.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, Tiffany.
All right. But thank you so much for having me, Mark. Love you to pieces. I appreciate you. And if you ever need anything, I got your sticks.
Yeah, and I need you to hold on because I got to upload your track. Everybody, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed, Tiffany, and her vibrant personality, and just her spiciness, and just a great human. And thank you for sharing, Tiffany. And to all these out there, thanks for all your support. I love you guys. And I need you as much as we need each other, man. So take care.